Welcome to this 18-minute webinar on CFD modeling in COMSOL. My name is Mats, and I'm the Technology Director for Fluid Flow at COMSOL. So let's start with a quick look at what's included in the CFD module. We can model flow of various compressibility. Turbulence can be modeled with either RANS or LES. We can combine moving and stationary frames, such as in rotating machinery applications. Non-isothermal effects must be included for compressible flow, but we can also use the Boussinesq approximation to model buoyancy effects in incompressible flow. And there are also dedicated interfaces for high Mach number flow and for non-Newtonian fluids. For multiphase flow, we can choose to model the details of moving phase boundaries using the level set or phase field methods or a moving mesh technique. Here you can see a level set simulation. Another option is to use a dispersed multiphase model such as bubbly flow, mixture model, or the Euler-Euler model to trace volume fractions of a large number of bubbles, particles, or aerosols. And these can also be combined with moving mesh functionality, such as in this mixer where we're mixing heavy and light suspended particles. In the CFD module, we also have physics interfaces for porous media flow, thin film flow, and the shallow water equations. There are also predefined multiphysics couplings for conjugate heat transfer. As you can see in this first animation, we have a heated block in a closed cavity and reacting flow. Here you have a mixer with reacting components. And for fluid structure interaction and flow-induced noise, among others. Some of these applications require additional licenses. But today I'm going to show you how to set up a large eddy simulation of turbulent channel flow at the turbulent Reynolds number of 395. The domain is going to be periodic in the X and Z directions and bounded by walls at y equals plus minus 1. Now, if we scale the equations with the friction velocity and half the height of the channel, we can write the momentum equation in terms of a single parameter, which is the turbulent Reynolds number, and the flow is going to be forced by volume force of magnitude unity in the X direction. The mesh is going to be hexahedral with 64 cubed elements, and the wall resolution in viscous units is put to 1 next to the walls, and then it's stretched towards the center of the channel. In the periodic directions, the resolution is uniform. It's going to be, we're going to use longer elements. The elements are going to be longer in the X direction than in the Z direction. In the first box here, you can see the actual values of the resolution and the recommended ones within parentheses. I will also put the restriction on the time step according to the Courant-Friedrichs-Lewy condition, which states that the fluid must not be convected further than one mesh cell in each time step. So now let's open COMSOL and see how to set this up. So we start from the model wizard, and we pick for LES has to be 3-dimensional. I'm going to close this one. So we go to the fluid flow branch. On the single phase flow large eddy simulation, we find 3 different methods for LES, and I'm going to use the first one, which is called the residual based variational multiscale method. The other one has the same name but with viscosity, and then there's a Smagorinsky one. So then the next step is to pick a study, and for for LES, it has to be a time-dependent study. So first of all, I'm going to go to the head node and pick the units to be none, because we're using a dimensionless formulation. And I'm going to import some parameters from a file. So these parameters are the dimensions of the box. The turbulent Reynolds number, rho is just going to be 1, and mu is 1 over the Reynolds number. Then we have these following 3 parameters, which are for the initial values and the forcing in the x direction. So let's build a geometry now that we have our dimensions. Let's start with a block of width Lx, 2 times Ly, and Lc. And I'm gonna center it at y equals 0. Then I'm gonna add a point as well. That's to fix the pressure in the problem. So I'll put that on the lower wall, at the center. So Lx over 2, negative Ly, and Lc over 2. So here you see that we get this pressure point that I'm going to use, and the walls are at y equals plus and minus 1. So now let's set the properties of the fluid. So the density needs to be set, and we had a value rho, which was 1, and for the viscosity, it's just 1 over the Reynolds number. Oh, sorry. So I'm going to use the predefined parameter mu. Next, I'm going to set up the initial profile. And for this, I'm going to use a Poisson profile with a disturbance. So let's first enter the Poisson profile. So here U is the centerline velocity. And then I'm going to add this disturbance, which is periodic. Cosine K is the wave number. I'm sorry, 3 times, so K times Z. See if I got that right. So here, since the dimensions of the box are 2 pi in the x direction, it's going to be periodic at the boundaries. And in the z direction, it's 2 pi over 3. So that's why we have the 3 times k times z. And in the y direction, we have from -1 to 1. So we need to add the pi here. Now I'm going to copy this. And for the v component, I use old signs. And with amplitude of 4 over pi. And here we have cosine, and finally sine. So this disturbance satisfies the continuity equations. If you differentiate this with respect to x, this with respect to y, this with respect to z, it adds up to 0. And the reason I picked this one is that it's easier to, or faster to initialize. I could also have used a random disturbance instead, but this gets the simulation going a little bit quicker. Next, I'm going to add the forcing. So that was, I picked the whole domain, and it's in the x direction, f sub x, which is just 1. And then periodic conditions, one in the x direction, and another one in the z direction. And then finally, we need to fix the pressure. So I'm going to add, go to points, add, not getting that one. So, oh, sorry. So let's see. Now we'll get it. Pressure point constraint, and pick it here. It doesn't matter what level we pick for incompressible flow. So just put a 0 here. And next is the mesh. So I'll go to boundary generators, and I'm going to use the mapped mesh. So I'm going to start by meshing this surface here. And I'm going to add a distribution. So we're going to use the stretched mesh in the wall normal direction with 64 elements and an element ratio of 48. Now you're going to use the exponential growth rate and symmetric. So by doing this, we get the first element to have a non-dimensional or non-dimensional distance or viscous wall distance of 1. And then in the z direction, just pick a uniform distribution of 64 elements. And I'm going to sweep this from this face to this face. Oh, sorry, not this one. This is the source. So destination is this one, and also distribution of 64 elements. So here's our mesh. And the next step is to go to our study, our time-dependent study. I'm going to simulate for 15 non-dimensional time units and save every 2.5 non-dimensional time units. And then if I right-click here and go to show default solver, I can set the time step restriction. So if we go to time-dependent solver, time stepping, and here you see the maximum step constraint. So I'm going to use a constant value of 0.0025. So this basically sets up the solver, and we can have a look at the initial value. So this is a default plot, but in this case, I think it's better to use a slice plot in the XY plane, single one, and put a deformation on it in the Z direction. So I put the magnitude of velocity, and the average positive velocity I entered is 20. So I divide by 20. And you can, oh, yeah, let's repeat spf.u. So here you have the initial profile. So that's a Poisson profile with a periodic disturbance. Now, if I hit computer, it's going to take 3 days on my old computer. So I'm going to load the results. So let's open solve file. And this is what it looks like after 15 non-dimensional time units. But let's try to reproduce the plot that was used in the animation. So I'm going to disable this, add a surface with selection. I'm going to use the two of the periodic boundaries where I plot the velocity, and I'm going to use a different color table. This Jupiter Aurora Borealis, and reverse it. That's that one. Then I'm going to add the walls. So again, I use the surface with a selection and pick the walls. And here I'm going to add, so you can see that the velocity is 0 on the walls. That's the default boundary condition. And here I'm going to add the material appearance. Let's see if I can. So let's pick steel, for example, here. So you get the material appearance, and then last of all, I'm going to add isosurfaces for the streamline velocity u, and I'm going to add a range of levels from 2 with step 2 to 18, and use a different color map. So I'm going to pick this one. So here you have the plot that was used in the animation. So I want to thank you for attending, everyone.